When I'm at my best, I'm energized and engaged.
I also smile easily, and I smile with my whole body, and I'm really happy and enthusiastic.
When I'm at my best, I'm energized and engaged.
Who is that, please?
That was me, David Corbin.
Thank you very much. Somebody else, please.
I also smile easily, and I smile with my whole body, and I'm really.
Yes, and I have much energy and shiny eyes, so much of engagement.
Much energy and shiny eyes. Thank you. Somebody else, please.
I'm at my best when I'm collaborating with others.
Nice.
When I'm my best, I can climb the highest mountain, and I can challenge the others with me.
Thank you. Sedalia, if I have your name pronounced right, could you be so kind and turn on your video so we can connect with you?
Yes, but I have a very low connection, so this is why I turn off the video.
Okay, I propose maybe you turn it on for 5 seconds and wave
Yes.
at us, and then you can turn it off again.
Okay.
Yay!
Hi.
There you go. See? Okay, thank you for that.
I have to kind of second what Michael said. I'm at my best when I'm collaborating with others, listening to them, learning, and enjoying what I would call the peace of collaboration. Not all collaboration is super peaceful, but the peace of collaboration when we're actually solving problems, that's when I'm at my best.
Thank you.
I'm at my best when I'm focused and in the flow. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I've put when I'm focused on helping others do something new.
And in the question is phrased interestingly, and the question comes from a solution-focused community. They don't say, when am I at my best? They say, when I am at my best. So Shane, I'm gonna just put you on the spot if you wouldn't mind, because what you did was you gave a good run-up. You say, I am at my best when I'm, right? Did you say, now my memory's bad, collaborating in flow. And then when I'm in flow and collaborating, then how are you?
Oh, well, I'm happier then.
You're happier.
Yeah, much happier.
Thank you. Cool, guys. So that's the check-in. We've done different check-ins. This is like our fourth one of these. We did one a week ago, and then we did one in Latin America in Spanish, and then we did one in Australian time zone. We did a different check-in each time. So this is just the check-in. There's a lot on our minds. And so we'll not talk about the virus per se, but anything else that's on your mind, Heart of Agile, what we're doing, communities, anything about remote, questions you have. Let's just turn this around and see what we have going. There you see in part 2, what would you like to talk about today in the Google Docs? So go ahead and write what you'd like to talk about today. And if anybody is, like pretty fervent about a topic, just shout it out here. Even don't write it. And you'll also notice there's a space for taking notes there. So while you're listening, it's really nice if you write down your notes for what you're thinking about. So who wrote turning? I think this is a good one. Turning impediments into opportunity. David Corbin, can you set that up for us a little bit?
Couldn't find the unmute button for a half second. So obviously, the current pandemic is throwing a lot of impediments across the board, and hopefully everyone here and their families are safe and healthy. But are there potential opportunities that people can make use of the time so that they have something positive? If one's looking at impediment, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, it reinforces a negative attitude. But I have found that when you say, okay, this is bad, but I can use this so that I can catch up on my reading, I can better myself, or in a professional setting, there's certain items I can take care of.
Good. So let's get concrete. Pick an impediment that you have managed to somehow convert into an opportunity.
Well, one of the things I found, I'm a software developer by heart. I've been doing it a long time, for those who don't know me, is that, a lot of the complex software does involve collaboration and working with people in large groups, and that's harder to do. But most software systems also have some technical debt in them. Technical things that you can say, hey, you go work on this, you go work on that, and use this as an opportunity to pick up on things that provide value, but can be done in either individually or in much smaller groups than is needed for the more unknown and flexible stuff.
So I've got one, and we'll see what, and I think that maybe a way to roll forward with this is with specific examples. I happen to have two. The first is I have friends who teach certified Scrum Master classes, and their business has gone up, strangely enough, because it used to be that people had to fly to a city to attend a class. And they decided they got permission to put their classes online. Now they can pick a time that just even on the weekend, for example, and people are joining their classes from all over the world. So actually their market went up for the fact that they didn't have to fly in to see them. So that was an impediment and an obstacle that turned into, a big business opportunity. Anybody else?
State the question again.
In my line of work and here in my town, I typically travel between a couple different clients in a day. So definitely that travel time between clients has been cut out. So fraction more prepared, fraction more focused.
Who asked for what's the question again?
I did.
That was JD?
Yeah. How to turn impediments into opportunities or, okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
so, rather than being general, I think a good thing to do is to get really specific. There was a thing that happened and then something good got converted out of it.
So I really use the reflect and improve part of the Heart of Agile to address those things because they come up all the time. We have production interruptions that get in our way. We make decisions on things that are wrong that do that. So they're really impediments, and we turn them into learning opportunities on what not to do next time. I don't know if that necessarily addresses your question.
Well, I just need an example.
I'll give you an example. So somebody comes up to one of our developers who they have a relationship and it's not in sprint work. They say, can you please investigate this? And out of the kindness of their heart, the developer's heart, he does investigate this, and it kind of turns into a rabbit hole. And looking back, he sees how much time he sunk into it. And he then, in this last retrospective, said, I got to stop doing that. And what's the mechanism, JD, for helping me not do that? So learn how to say, I can do that, but I need you to talk with either my Scrum Master or my product owner to plan that unless the sky is falling. If the sky is falling, let's group and understand the impact to the sprint. And That's and so that was a good lesson for him to learn, for us to learn, to communicate that and to make sure that that didn't happen. Now, maybe that's kind of a little bit of a noob lesson, but it is turning an obstacle into a learning opportunity.
That was sweet. And so here's an idea I got from that. And this would be inside the team reflection session, which, you know, I don't call retrospectives, but just a reflection session that happens periodically. This gave me an idea, JD, if anybody would care to try it. Just say, put up on the thing, what's bugging you? That's it, right? You know, we've got the Scrum questions, you know, what did you do yesterday? What did you do today? What slowed you down? But imagine that every other week, like what bugged you the last 2 weeks? And then one of the things to do is to see how to fix it, right? Fix that thing. But what's just occurring to me, if you want to try this, any of you who have teams, is do that. Can we turn an impediment into an opportunity? So an impediment has a property, right? So we can't travel. So instead of saying, how can we fix the can't travel and get people to travel, we say, how can we use the fact that we can't travel, right? So that's not overcoming an impediment, which is, I guess, the usual question, but can you use the properties of the impediment to create something different? So that's oh, by the way, we do ahas at the end, right? This is learnings and, you know, what did I like and what did I learn? And that's what I just learned. So I just got my learning from JD. Thank you, JD. Just I'm saying it out loud because very often we learn and we note things and then we don't notice that we learned something, we don't write it down. And somebody already wrote that in the notes. So thank you. That's my first aha and takeaway from this meeting. Who's next? Somebody was ready. We have a new person who joined, Kieran Cockburn. How are you doing, Kieran Cockburn?
Oh, good. You know, just thought I'd throw a little twist. You know, make sure people might not guess that we're related.
So for the rest of you, Kieran is my son. He's in Salt Lake City, and he had a daughter, I guess, 2 years ago. About now, is she turning 2?
She's 23 months and like 4 days. So
yeah, yes. So I have a granddaughter. We did a check-in, Kieran, that you get to fill in the Google. Do you see the chat?
Yeah, I just pulled up the chat. Can I have the Google link again? So,
right. Now click on the Google Doc because, you know, we do our writing in the Google Doc.
Okay.
And you can think about it or you can answer on the fly. The check-in is when I'm at my best. When I am at my best, finish the sentence. You want to pass for now and come back on it later, or?
Do you just want me to just tell you, or should I?
Yeah, say it. Speak it on the fly for people.
Yeah. So I would say probably when I am at my best, I am in the company of others, I would say.
And how are you when you are at your best? So you are at your best when you're in the company of others, and when you're in the company of others and you are at your best, then you are?
I'm energized. I'm seeking to understand and help other people. I'm focused on other people. I'm focused on others and advancing them is probably when I'd say when I'm at my best.
Thank you very much. Good. On we go then. And then Kieran, in the document, if you look at that, you'll see part 2 list. What would you like to talk about today? David Corbin proposed turning impediments into opportunities. So we were looking for examples of people who had seen an impediment and turned it into an opportunity. So you're welcome. At this point, you're caught up. Take notes in there, write what you like, and you're caught up. and we'll see if anybody else has.
Well, we are in the middle of the same situation. We many of our trainings got cancelled. So there's the saying: if you don't have something to do, you have both hands free. So, and as I don't have anything to do at the moment, in terms of performing trainings, and the others don't have anything to do either. At our company, we decided to move our training to an online format and to test it with our rookies, which are onboarding every month. So we can learn about how to deliver training remotely. And then maybe this will be an opportunity over the onboarding of our rookies. So that's how I'm working with it at the moment.
So, Jörg, thank you. How, now you're in Germany, Jörg. How might you do onboarding if you can't meet the people in person?
Oh, the initial onboarding was already done by Zoom. So just in the same way we do it at the moment, we get in touch with the people. And then after this, we will give them the training by Zoom. So let's try it, and then maybe mural. But we are finding out at the moment.
So to stay with the topic, right? So all of you, anybody who's ever met me or been in my classes, you know I don't just let go if an answer is like a part of an answer. Jörg, were you in my training in Munich?
Yeah, right.
It shows you how good my memory is, man. That was a part of an answer, but it didn't. There's a distance that we can take it further. So what you said was we have an impediment. So we did meh. We made a Zoom meh, right? That's not turning an impediment into an opportunity yet. My curiousness is there a way to actually make that an opportunity?
So the point is, if I can't attend in physical, so the others maybe have the same problem, who of them, and how can I address their need? So think more about the solution and the opportunity from my own impediment. Just that's switch the thinking. Or maybe I don't get the point right in English.
What occurs to me is the opportunity is that the person who's being onboarded can get their briefing at any moment in time that suits them. They don't have to show up at a particular time. And the people who are recording the Zoom can record it whenever it suits them. So there's a thing that there's an opportunity there that people get to choose their own times. That's an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Also,
Michael?
as people get to feel comfortable about the remote working, you get to build the best team, not the best team that lives within 50 miles.
We have from Paris, Nicolas Merot joining us. Nicolas, would you be willing to turn on your video and say hello to people? You can say pass if you don't like, but yes. You're on mute, but that's fine. We see your face. So there's one more opportunity. So I'm a big fan of traveling and seeing everybody, in person, face to face. So for me, doing these Zoom chats, it's a long stretch, but there's a benefit that's been pointed out several times, which I'm now super enjoying. So this is an impediment into an opportunity. And that's that we have gathered here a Zoom chat with a good number of people, like 15, 16 people, literally around the world. We have Germany and France, Belgium. We've had Japan. We have Australia, the US, and so on. So the opportunity here that I saw immediately from my very first one is having this cross continent dialogue that couldn't possibly happen if we were forced to travel or while we were forced to travel. So this is definitely for me an impediment and an opportunity. It's a big learning for me. Good morning, Carol.
Well, I think my my opportunity now is to be able to join you at all, because I think I wouldn't be able to travel to anywhere where a meeting is or an event is or something, because I can't afford. So this you guys giving the opportunity to me by creating such events like this is something I'm very grateful for, and it's a real opportunity for me.
Let's shift, if it's okay with you guys. I see a potential parking lot. Somebody wrote, still missing the HOA thing. I get the simplicity, but never attended any session outside of whatever it says there. That's Corey out of Fire Chats. So let's talk about that for a minute. What it is. So my intention in creating the Heart of Agile was to make something so simple that you wouldn't need any tutoring. So let's just review that. There's only 4 words, right? And collaborate, deliver, reflect, and improve. That's all there is. And my assertion on the table is that I don't have to teach you how to collaborate. Collaborate is simply a function of attitude. And you know, it's a reminder. Now, how many courses do you need to go to be reminded to collaborate? Now, it's a difficult place to live because typically we all collaborate, let's say, to the extent we feel inclined to at the moment. And what the Heart of Agile collaborate word was, no, do more, no, and do more, and do more, and do more. And it happens to me all the time that you know, I get annoyed at somebody and I cut the collaboration and I go, well, I did my part. I did my part. You know, it's their turn. Da 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 da. And then Sole in particular is pretty good at, you know, catching me out at that and saying, yeah, well, did you walk over and say hello? And did you do it in person and try again and blah 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 and stuff, you know? And then I'm obliged to continue. And deliver is more technical. Well, a show of hands, because I have everybody on the screen. And Corey, if you'd be willing to put on your video so we can see who you are, that would be just wonderful. If you have enough bandwidth, even just for, yay, good man. So raise your hand if you're doing software. I just want to see. Raise your hand if you're not doing software. Like software is not your product. So for fun, Kate and Andrew, what are your products?
Well, my products at this point are all advisory. I help some clients of ours work on software, but I certainly cannot take any of the credit for their creativity.
No, but in terms of what counts as a delivery, they deliver software.
Some clients, yes.
And what are the other ones doing?
Others deliver curriculum. Some deliver actual tangible products, manufacturing.
And Kate?
I don't know, because here it's like 2 a.m. to say good morning to everybody or good day to everybody. But my background is just being, is everyone can hear me? Sorry, I just wanted to actually double check that my microphone working.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. My background is completely different to everybody else. So I guess if I explain a little bit, just in the short statement, is the fact is I'm not actually coming from the background to have that Scrum or Agile or anything like that. But 6 months ago, I was going through complete different lifestyle, and I was looking for an opportunity to turn my life to another level. by means of that is I was looking for a career path. Then I met somebody along the way in my life that he was an agile coach for one of the local bank, and he helped me to get the opportunity right now I am in. And the mindset and the methodology that he used that helped me a lot to change my kind of like the way I was applying for the positions and applying and prepared to go to the interview. It was mostly coming from the frameworks of Heart of Agile. And he gave me the stickers of Heart of Agile, and I was in the folders, and I was keep looking. I was like, where does this come from? And I really want one day I have opportunity to know who these people are, what they're doing, what's the fundamental, what's the principle, and how they're using it to actually create a product. Basically, I was his product, and he helped me to get to the career path that I always wishing to get into. So January 2020 for me was the a year of me, because I achieved that goal. I turned that kind of like missed opportunity to opportunity that I couldn't actually achieve. And I fortunately I don't have access to him, but I turned that in whatever happened to getting to know what is agile and how does it operate, who's behind it, who's the people, what's the society, and turn it into something great. And what I'm doing is completely different to everybody else. My background is neuroscience, and I'm coming from the science background, but I just love the fact, the fundamental, I had a little bit short and brief understanding about how's everything running, and I want to learn more about it. That's why it's actually, motivate me to stay up 2 a.m. and joining you guys all around the world and knows what is going on. And I can't believe it, 6 months ago, I would never ever realize what is agile is, what is it applicable, and who are they, and how this actually implement to any businesses. But now there we go, I'm here. And I would never ever think about it. So I'm looking at it as something great in my life happen, and I'll take it from here. Yeah, like broaden my horizon, learning something completely new. I look at it as a great adventure in my life. Yeah.
Thank you. So to Corey's question, what is this Heart of Agile thing, and why is it so simple? The point there, Corey, is, and the reason I asked the question about software, is that the deliver aspect of the Heart of Agile is technical. So if you're delivering software and you need to deliver it frequently, and you need to deliver it in little tiny parts, you need technical people. But my hypothesis, or my assertion on the table is that any business or organization that's in the business of delivering software has technical people on staff. And if your business is marketing and you have to deliver fractionally to get feedback, you have technical people on staff. And if you're doing social interventions, then you have people who understand that, the concept of delivering into that domain. So again, it's not for me to teach you how to deliver. It's only to assert that's important to deliver little tiny pieces all the time to get feedback about the decisions that you're making. So that's the deliver. Now, reflect and improve, I separated because, and here's a little truth in advertising for you guys. I came up with this little diamond thing while I was teaching an advanced agile course in Australia 5 years ago, almost exactly. And the reason it's a diamond and not any other shape is because, yeah, thank you very much. The reason it's a diamond and not any other shape is because I was looking for a shape that wasn't overloaded. And I wanted a pyramid, but pyramids are all, I wanted a triangle, but triangles are all overloaded. So I just made a shape on the whiteboard that was not a shape that was already taken. So that was a diamond. And I had to figure out whether to make the lines, vertical, horizontal, or diagonal, diagonal. And what the hell, I just chose diagonal, diagonal. Who knows what difference that makes in the end. And then I just picked some words. And the first word that came to my head was collaborate. And the second one was deliver. And the third one, that would have been the third arm of the triangle, would have been reflective improvement. And Scrum, they say inspect and adapt. In my work, I say reflective improvement, And given that I wasn't going to use a triangle, I had to find a way to make it fit the diamond. And what occurred to me at that moment is that reflective improvement is a lot of syllables, right? Reflective improvement, 6 syllables. Inspect and adapt is 5 syllables. So we have 2 concepts in 5, 6 syllables because it's 2 concepts blended. And people do a really bad job in their retrospectives, in their reflective improvement sessions, in their inspect and adapt sessions, and so on. So I decided it would be, you know, legitimate to separate the reflect and the improve. And then I had to justify it. And then what's the justification? The justification is that people don't actually stop and reflect. They go into a meeting. Okay, we're going to do a retrospective now. How long is this meeting? Blah, blah, blah. How long till it's over? Blah, 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 right? And I really wanted to take the opportunity and say, just stop. No, literally stop. Now reflect. Okay, when you reflect, you're going to go get data. If you have web data, you're going to check on the team's emotions and all of that stuff. But this is a moment literally to take the time out. It's a reminder to take the time out and dig inside and find what's there. So that's it. Okay, so reflect can stand on its own, and then improve, right? Then you do, and our theme is micro improvement, lots and lots and lots of micro improvements. So I want to separate out what you'd say is the core elements of the heart of Agile are just the 4 words. And the assertion on the table and what we're discovering is it's really nice that it doesn't say anymore, because there's so many ways to improve collaboration. It would be foolish for me or any of us to narrow that down and say, here's the way to collaborate, or here's the process for collaboration. Just to say, find a way to collaborate. Find a way to deliver more often. Put your attention there. Learn, stop, and reflect for a minute, and then figure out what to improve, right? So we talk about solution focus. We talk about micro improvements. We talk about lots of things. Those aren't core. Those are like in 2020, we're looking at solutions focus. It's a nice place to look this year, right? But maybe in 2 years, we'll be looking at, you know, clean language or something else will show up, and that's fine. That doesn't disturb this kind of mandala. So there you go. You asked the question, Corey. So how are you after that?
Thank you for that.
I would like to add to that another thing that I like to see about these 4 words is that they are an invitation, are the start of conversations. That's how do I see them. There's a way to address or to start those conversations that are needed. As Alistair said, we are not here to tell you which are the techniques of how to collaborate better and all that, but it's a way to remind which are the important conversations that have to be in place, which are the topics that we need to address. If we want to collaborate more, we have to talk about this and that and that, and we do it, and we make some examples about trust, culture, etc. But it's about starting those conversations. Just that.
Anybody, I'd be open to anybody's comments about maybe the simplicity, oversimplicity, or the happy simplicity of the 4 words thing.
This is David. One of the things I like about the separation of reflect and improve is, unfortunately, I've run into many places where people will think about areas, but they don't actually ever do anything. And so by identifying that thinking is different than doing, it makes both sides of it valuable.
I think that we are living a time very specific, and we don't have the choice. We must collaborate if we want to work and we want to progress and we want to keep a way of life that we used to know. And I think collaboration is getting better because we as in our house, we are living apart from each other's.
All right, let's see what we have other topics. Any other topics on the, who has a topic rather than me choosing? Maybe one of you can pick whatever topic you particularly are keen. Oh, by the way, a shout out and a hello to Hiromoto. That's a Japanese name, but he's in Peru. So Hiro, would you like to wave hello to everybody?
Hello.
Yeah.
Alistair, do you have a Google Docs that we could put the link here in the chat, and then people can add to it, and that might direct a couple of us to be able to contribute?
Good, good. I'm opening chat. Let's see.
Thank you, Soleil.
I've got another topic if nobody else has one. How would your approach be different on a scale? Working with one team is different than working with 10 teams, 15 teams. Do you approach the heart of Agile differently?
Yeah, that's cool. And I love that. I love that question. So let's say you're working with a large number of teams, 10, 15 teams. What does the heart of Agile, this is a test question for you, Corey. I'm afraid I'm going to put you on the spot. You're working with 10 teams. What does the heart of Agile tell you to do?
Personally, I have a lot of challenges because I come from a very, basically it's a safe implementation. So you can get an idea of what type of environment I'm working in. It's very controlled, process heavy.
Yeah, yeah. But what does the heart of Agile tell you?
To treat people differently, make it more personal instead of process heavy.
Nope, nope, it doesn't. Heart of Agile does not get in the way of your process. Well, it does a little bit on the deliver side. Heart of Agile says collaborate and gives you no advice. So Heart of Agile is like, to me, Sola, you know where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to ask you also. You have a way of describing it. I'll say it. You want to go first, or you? Okay. So to me, the heart of Agile, it's like a mandala, right? You stare at it. What do you do with a mandala? You put it on your wall and you stare at it. That's what you do with mandalas. And if you stare at it long enough and you have the right music, your brain goes into certain places. So in that sense, for me, it's a mandala. What does the mandala? It says collaborate. And now you say, Alistair, I have 10 teams. What am I supposed to do? I look at the mandala and I say, collaborate, man. And you go, well, how do I do that? And I go, not my job. That's your job. You've got 10 teams full of people that are adults. They're all got brains. Find a way to collaborate, right? That doesn't interfere with your process at all. You can keep a document-centric, straight waterfall, phase gate, written document approach. You'll still improve things if you improve the collaboration. Are you with me?
Correct. Any tool that you choose, whether it's manifested as a Scrum of Scrum, whether it manifests as program calls, as long as you're collaborating.
That's the idea of this thing, the thing that almost bothers me because it's too simple, right? It's only 4 freaking words. But the point about it is if you live in the square called collaborate for years, it changes your behavior. If your team lives in the space called collaborate for years, it'll change their behavior. And there are no rules. Everybody's an expert on collaboration. And I'll remind you that Deliver is technical. We're big fans of finding ways to probe the world and finding out where we have mistakes in our decision process. That's on the inside of collaborate. But again, there are no rules. And so if you're in a process-centric waterfall phase gate, it's a lot harder to get permission to get feedback along the way. But the heart of Agile just says, yeah, try it, find ways. Look at do Kanban, look at the internal flow, look at your queues, measure your queues, bottlenecks, applied critical chain, theory of constraints, all of that's inside of the deliver. See if you can do surveys, get feedback early. Even if you can't do incremental development, try to find ways to get feedback about your decision chain and improve that. And you can for sure find ways to get together and have a reflect and improve session with any size team, any number of people. So the thing that's kind of interesting is by not giving any instructions at all, it gives you space for anybody to invent anything. Right? So if you say, what do I do heart of Agile 10 teams? It's you exactly do those 4 things. Mm-hmm. You go live in the square and you just feel. Now I'm going to give it over to Sola because she talks about it. It has a different metaphor than mandala. That's my word. Sola?
Yeah, it's a complementary, it complements a little bit the idea. I see it as a compass to navigate the complexity of if you have teams, if you have an entire organization. These 4 words, I like to see it as a compass, as I said before, to see which are the conversations that we need to address first, which are the things that we need to talk about, to put on the table and make it obvious so we can become better. Regardless the framework or techniques that we put on top, Heart of Agile can be at the bottom of it or on top of that. It's another layer, it's another way of perspective. Let's say another perspective of seeing what's going on through the organization, right? It's going around with these glasses on okay, as a compass, okay, where should I talk more about collaboration? Okay, this here and this team maybe is more on delivery. We need more on reflect. We all need to stop and reflect. And that's another way of seeing this and how to manage those different quadrants, let's say, or aspects. That's how I can contribute to the idea.
Thank you.
That's a word for you. Makes sense, Corey?
I like that metaphor. It's pretty good. Thinking from a compass perspective.
Yeah, not everybody likes mandalas.
I like mandalas.
I had to look it up. I didn't know what one was, so.
Yeah, I should take the logo and get someone to do a kind of an LSD explosion of the thing and the woo thingy, so it's more mandala like. Yeah, someone said,
I have a nice compass.
Yeah. Someone said I need something I can take to work. We have a couple of people who joined. Can we welcome the people who joined? So Georgia Babic is in Serbia, and Georgia and Tamara, where are you?
Hi.
Tamara, where are you calling in from?
Tamara from Serbia also.
In Serbia also?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for waving. Even if you turn your video off, it's nice to turn it on for a bit just so we can see. And Maria Elena, could you turn on your video just for a moment so we can see you?
Hi, I just got back. Sorry. This is my first time using Zoom, so I didn't know how to turn on the audio. So I found out. So finally, I hear you well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maria Elena, if you're there, would you be open to turning on your video so we can say hi to you properly? Maybe she's off in the kitchen. I don't know. Okay. Cool.
Well, I just want to shout out. It's nice to meet Georgia because I've seen your name being dropped around on Facebook by my dad. So I've heard a lot of ideas and things coming from you. So it's nice to be able to actually meet you and see your face at least.
Nice to meet you, Kieran. Thank you.
And something I don't know if introductions are done, but I kind of wanted something that I thought that I've found interesting that kind of ties into the last 2 questions. One of working with larger teams, or at least working in unusual industries as far as delivering and collaborating and things like that. So I was in software, but I'm on the sales side at the moment. I'm trying to transition into the more project management side of things. But the company I was just with, actually, one of the guys that was in account management, so just in kind of updating and keeping people that have signed on to the product and using the product continue to use as media spend, doing advertising. But he actually set up basically, he set up like weekly meetings, collaborate, ways to for people to talk every single week and every single day, essentially Scrum style. So they called them Scrummables because it was kind of Scrum, but Agile style. But the fact is, he just basically got his team together to talk about what were some of the issues that were coming up that they were facing with customers, so that they could talk about it, what was going on, and then how they were gonna, like, what they were gonna do to change. And then each week and every day that they met, they could say, okay, well, what worked, what didn't work, how can we improve these customers' lives, was really. And so I found it was kind of interesting how he did that on a small team, and then it started getting implemented across multiple account management teams. And I was actually trying to take that idea and take it into the initial sales side of, when you initially contact someone, how can we, get together as a team and talk about and collaborate and just get ideas flowing of what's happening and how people are doing and how to improve our lives and improve our methods of delivering people to be sold on this product.
I'm going to build on that for a second. What's his name? You know how good I am with names. Who's our man in Mike Labor posted a link this morning of an interview of one of the people from the book Team of Teams doing video calls with several thousand people around the world. And I just put that into the notes section so that people can look at that. Sole and I looked at that separately this morning, and I'm sure Mike's seen it. So when we're talking about use of these video chats, this was back in 2005. They had 10,000 people, and they talk about the mechanics of doing that. The book Team of Teams is awesome and talks about some of the social aspects of doing that. So Kieran, I'm building on the fact that you're saying salespeople can do it, military can do it, anybody can do it. Hey guys, it's 5 minutes till the top of the hour. We have a request, and I'm guessing it might have been from Astrid, on how to start a Heart of Agile meetup group. Was that you, Astrid? That was Jörg, how to start a Heart of Agile meetup group. And it may be easier now, with the Zoom stuff, than when you had to get people together physically. And given this thing is a mandala or a compass or a reminder or whatever you want to call it, you just get some people together and you say, there's this thing this month or this week, let's talk about the collaborate. Like, what does it mean? How do you do it? I'm in this situation. How do I improve it? What are the obstacles? Like, and get super specific. Like, so-and-so doesn't like this. Boom, right? The more specific you are, the easier. And then maybe the next week say, hey guys, we're gonna do this, and the theme is deliver. Like, for me, deliver's got three aspects. It's the internal delivery chain, it's deliver for learning, and it's deliver for value, as three different things. You say, what does that mean, right? That could be three separate meetups. And again, you get concrete, you look at what are obstacles, what are repairs, et cetera, and you literally just go live in these squares. And then reflect and improve. I never know if that's one thing or two things, right? You decide. Reflect from data, reflect from emotions, right? What do we got on the data side? What on the emotion side? You just make it thematically. You just move it around. So we've split, collaborate into three parts, deliver into three parts, reflect into two parts, and improve. I never know if that's 1, 2, or nothing, or whatever it is, right? So we've already got like 8, 9 parts. So that's already 8 weeks of meetings, or if you did it monthly, it'd be 8 months of meetings. There's nothing more you need. But if you are serious that you want to get a Heart of Agile community, we do a Zoom call and connect you with others meetup organizers around the world, with the meetup organizers in Australia, in Scotland, in Buenos Aires, in Chile, and wherever. And then you can have like an organizer to organizer. Here's what I've tried. What did you try? Here's what I've tried for Zoom, for in person, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can kind of at a meta level. Yeah.
Yes, it would be great. So.
So write to Sola or me, and we'll get you connected then with the rest of the people.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Gang, it's at the end. So if you'll go to part 5, end of session reflection, what I liked, what I learned, do that, and you can go down to part 6. You know, we're experimenting with this, we're playing around with it. But as always, even if you write, what I would like is for your voice and your body literally to say out loud what it is I liked and what I learned. Can we maybe go around in some order and hear everybody say it for themselves?
I guess I'll just say that I always like hearing metaphors used. So hearing other people, whether it's the same metaphor I use for things or hearing a new one, I find that very useful ways to communicate new ideas to people. So yeah, hearing metaphors is what I enjoy.
I really liked that I met Kieran and that I've seen Tamara. Hi, Tamara. And what I learned, actually, I just got an idea after your question about Meetup, and I have to work a bit on it, but I'll get back to the group later.
Nice. I'll jump in. And one thing in particular that I liked, I guess, is I liked the quote, if you live in the space called collaborate, you know, for years, it will change the way that you think and live. To me, that also kind of brings in the concept that because of the way it's so broken down and so simple, is that you can literally pick one area and you can live in just one of these 4 segments and just have it, in a sense, have that be your area of focus. Of course, still doing all of them, still collaborating and delivering and thinking and reflecting and improving and all that stuff. But you can kind of pick one to focus in and live in it for years and to continue to improve on how you collaborate with others, or continue to improve like your reflection process and reflecting with others and reflecting by yourself and everything like that.
I'll go. I like the idea of using just focusing reflection or retrospectives on one of those words per week. I might try that for some of our company's retrospectives.
I'm gonna change how I do my reflection sessions / retrospectives, at least the next one that I do, into, you know, oftentimes we talk about the results and the what went well, what didn't go well, and what action items do we want to come out of it. And in a sense, we do a reflection session, but I'm going to make it start off with more reflection with specifically unjudgmental, and then turn it into, okay, now that we've reflected, how can we improve? I think I kind of do it that way a little bit, but I'm going to make it more overt.
Yeah, what I really liked was to get connected to you all, and to meet you, and to have the feeling to be connected to a great community. Yeah. And what I learned, what resonated with me, was the distinction between reflection and improvement. As I read on Twitter, the lines, it's not wisdom does not come from 10,000 experiences, but from 10,000 reflections. And so this was some resonating.
So I'm going to put two people on the spot, if you don't mind. So Kate, you bothered to stay up till like 3 a.m. Have you got any neurons left to say anything that you got out?
Is what's something it was kind of like interesting for me. It just continuous improvement. And regardless of what background you are and what you do, it's always crucial to have that continuous improvement. One in collaboration, I would say specifically, you can actually find it out. Why? Because when we are in the team where we collaborate with together, it's actually a great opportunity to first learning about what area I need to actually improve, what area I need to actually invest to actually get more collaborative with the other people, understand from different perspective they look in the same topic that I'm looking at, and not accept it, actually understand them better and improving some of the perspective that we have. And to be very honest, one of the things that I'm enjoying to in this kind of like groups and is very interesting for me and motivates me to stay off is the fact is I'm coming from the complete different background, but when I look at it, it's kind of like is the same mutual things to give me the better productivity, not only for my work perspective, but also my personal life in that better decision making, and also to getting a better understanding on everybody else's perspective, how they look at this stuff in a different way. So I look at it as a collaborative as well.
And the other person I was going to call on is Astrid, who badgered me on Twitter to join and be part of the gang, and is up past midnight now. So if you have any energy or neurons left to comment, Astrid would love that.
Well, it's not around midnight, it's 6 p.m. So it's just early evening. But yeah, I was very I'm very excited to join because I never did something like this before, and so I was really nervous. I wouldn't be able or wouldn't be competent enough to be okay in such a group. And no, I'm very happy that I dared to bug you on Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else who hasn't spoken, I won't call on you, but if there's somebody who hasn't, I would love to hear from you.
Just a quick, what I liked was just engaging, collaborating with other adults. I have 3 kids at home now, so it's great to talk to other adults.
Yep. What I really liked was getting out of my specific technical domain and getting back up to the more general and core factors, getting back to the heart of it instead of being out in what is a very important branch, but it is only my branch.
Okay, I'll jump in. I got late, but I have to comment that just joining you briefly right now, even though I missed most of the meeting, I have no idea how many meetings you had so far. Was this the first one? This is the first one I heard about. But I'm definitely very interested and curious about your method. My industry where I'm working, we are focused on PDCA cycles, but I'm not sure if actual continuous improvement is really incorporated. I actually have difficulties to organize my time, to make priorities, and actually hold on everything. I can't hold on everything, definitely. So hopefully I will have an opportunity to actually jump in again and see how you think of such challenges. Thank you.
And if I may, Alistair, so Tamara, ping me and I'll bring you up to speed so you're on track for the next meetup.
Okay.
Last call. Anybody else?
I just want to thank you, Alistair and Soleil, for organizing this and making this happen, because it was a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. One of the things that motivated me to do this again was when we did the call with Australia, the number of people who said it helped them with their day. I didn't know that it would help so many people. So if it is helping people to reach out and see the world and touch someone else and get away from whatever's inside their head, that's cool. So we'll keep doing it. And a reminder, we're going to do an experiment. So one of the ideas that got written in the very first Zoom was to like have an always on. Why can't we just have a channel that's always on, instead of like you have to put an appointment, just like a coffee corner, right? And you just go and you just go in and you just see if there's anybody there, and if there's anybody there, you talk. It's not facilitated, you know, and you go away. You hang around for 10 minutes, take a break, 15 minutes, go back to work, whatever. So we actually went and got a new Zoom account just for this purpose. It's the same one we're using now. Both Sola and I have professional accounts. We went and got a third one for Heart of Agile, and we're gonna do our experiment in fact just in 5 hours from now. We're gonna leave it on for 2 hours. Now the way that Zoom works is we have to have moderators to let people in. Otherwise, I would just let it run. And I guess we have moderators like room monitors, if you will, in case there's a technical problem or there's a ugly fight and we have to hit the mute button on somebody or something like that, whatever. But it's an invitation. So we picked it at a time that the Australians, 8 to 10, they'll be waking up and coming online. It'll be 5 to 7 years, so that's 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. Europe time. So we pick up all the time zones with that time slot, pretty much. And it's experiment. So we won't be facilitating, there won't be a topic. We'll have a Google Doc. We're just going to see, you know, like how do people self-moderate is going to be. So that's the experiment in 5 hours. What's going to happen next, put your contact information at the bottom if you like. I'll send out an email connecting you. We will do like we did last time. We'll take some screen snapshots of this, of what happened, people talking, and we'll, you know, put it on YouTube. We'll make a PDF with this thingy, and we'll post it all on the Heart of Agile site, heartofagile.com. And for the one tonight, probably we won't record it or we won't publish it. Who knows? That's all I've got. I want to thank all of you for coming and catch you around next time, whenever that is.
Bye.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And see you later, whoever wants to come to the coffee.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dad, you